Welcome back to the JefeTalk podcast. It is your host, Jefe. Back for another one. Diddy Combs finally apologizes to Cassie. I'm going to just say off top, I don't think that was an apology to her. I think it was more of an apology to the public, more of an apology to the public. And I want everyone to kind of also understand there's a lot of, I could say legal things involved where he probably can't speak on her name again, right? Or he can't even talk about her in a public light. So, I see a lot of comments, especially on social media, where's her apology? I'm pretty sure he has apologized a million times to her, especially knowing the route she was going. But I'm going to give my real take on this. I'm going to be really blunt and honest on this. But what I want to first do is, I'm going to play his apology for us here, and then we're going to break it down. But I honestly feel that there's a lot more that we just don't know why he did what he did. I really think he should have. I don't think now's the time to do that. Like, now is not the time to do that. But let's break this down.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
Yo, so off top. Number one, you cannot apologize and then say I have no excuses for what I did, and then you give the excuse on why you did it. He said he was rock bottom. He said he had a lot going on. And then in the same sentence, he goes, I have no excuses. Isn't that an excuse? Like, come on. I think this is very, very bad on his end. People were like, well, at least he apologized. Like, listen, we're way past apology. Y'all got to remember, he has been denying this for the last, I don't know how many, over a year now, or 6-7 months. Time tells truth. Right here, just 4 days ago, he was committed to giving the impression that it's not true. You know what I'm saying? Things that's said about him is not true, right? He is known for pushing a narrative, creating a narrative. Why? Because he's been doing it for over 20 years. He's been in marketing. He's been in business. He's in corporate all the time, right? He's in the music business. He's an executive. These are things that they have been trained to do. But the fact that he had this video come out right after, I don't think it was carefully looked at, right? I think it's what are called the crisis management team. I don't think they put together what is proper etiquette to be putting out to the public, right? Because this is definitely not an apology to Cassie. He didn't say her name once in his apology. Let's run it back one more time so you can dissect it yourself.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up.
Like, you can already tell that his team didn't talk to him. Like this, if you're gonna apologize, it's not supposed to be about you at all. Not one inkling of a sentence or anything within the apology. You are not supposed to be saying, it is so hard for me to reflect. Like, yo, bro, you got caught kicking the life out of somebody. Like, you was going for a freaking field goal, 10 seconds left in the World Super Bowl. like we talk about the Super Bowl, we talk about the World Cup, we talk about every sports you could think of. It looked like you was trying to go for the W. You get what I'm saying? Like, there's no type of self-reflection that you should be having when it comes to an apology, right? Like it looked like he's reading. It looks like he has like little notes and cues of make sure he covers it, but he can't help himself but to continue to talk about himself.
I mean, I hit rock bottom.
I hit rock bottom. Who cares what you hit? We don't care if you hit a brick wall. We don't care if you hit another album sale. It's not about you. Anytime you show your face to the public, needs to be nothing but what you doing for people who are in Cassie's shoes now, right? He should have been like, I'm giving all of my earnings, everything, right? To women in abuse programs, right? Anything that's related to the crime he committed that was caught in broad daylight. That will be my suggestion. It shouldn't be nothing about no Instagram video about I was at a hard place in my life. Look, where I'm from, we don't got no remorse for anything to do with children in a negative light and beating on women. Like, it's nothing else to talk about. Your character is weak. You're weak as a man. And you know what's crazy? What's crazy about this, right? What's crazy about this, at least for me. What's crazy about this, at least for me? I met Diddy. I was in the Navy, right? I met Diddy. It was Fleet Week. Fleet Week is basically where, you got Marines, you got Navy folks, and they go to different locations within the United States to celebrate. And my biggest fan was Mace. Mace on Bad Boy. I grew up in Harlem, so it was just only right that I keep those spirits up when it come down to music from where I'm from, right? So anyways, Bad Boy was my thing. Bad Boy Records was just a group of individuals that I've always enjoyed their music, right? So Diddy was pretty much at the top list of like, yo, he's that dude, you know what I'm saying, growing up. So anyways, during Fleet Week, I went to this place called Ray's. Ray's is a pizza spot in New York. I believe it was in downtown. Pizza's always on point. And me and a few sailors went in there and we saw a limo pull up. I think it was a limo. Mind you, this was back in like 2000, maybe 9 or 10, right? Fleet Week in New York. Y'all can look this up. So I see somebody come out and I'm like, yo, who is it? It's like this tall bodyguard. And I think I can't remember his name. Everybody knows him, but I believe he passed away. But it was a tall bodyguard who came out, right? A tall bodyguard who came out, and then I saw Diddy pop out. This is my only time I've ever met Diddy. Well, Puffy back then, right? And what's crazy how all of this is coming out was I saw Cassie in the car at the time, right? Y'all can fact check all of this. Was he with Cassie back in 2000? Absolutely, right? But I saw Cassie in the back. She wasn't responsive. She was just sitting there. I'm like, okay. But I was more excited of seeing Diddy. I took a picture of him. I can't show the picture. Why? Because it was a camera that I lost when I was on deployment. But anyways, at that moment, you kind of get a sense of how how much influence and power he has, right? Everybody had to move out the way. Everyone stopped the order so he can order his pizza. I'm like, yo, I'm still waiting for my pepperoni and, you know what I'm saying? I was still waiting for my slice, but they had to stop everything to make sure they can cater to him. And the reason I'm bringing this up is that he, for decades, has created a perception of power right? You know, he's always saying, this is my city. This is my city, right? He's always given that impression. So the reason why I'm bringing all of this up is I don't believe a 15-second clip can erase the amount of influence in a negative light, the amount of just that energy of feeling that you can't say nothing or do nothing when it comes down, right? Nobody say, yo, I want my slice first. Like, I already paid, while we taking care of him, right? Because the perception is he's untouchable. And I think this is another example how I don't believe he's going in therapy. It's not me to judge it, but I'm just giving my 2 cents, right? Because when you're in therapy, right, of course, there's a lot of self-reflection. I did therapy twice. There's a lot of self-reflection, right? You're releasing any type of trauma or secrets, whatever it may be, right? Because the key is for you to move over whatever obstacle you're dealing with, you have to talk about it. But I don't believe he's depicting the timeline of his therapy, because in this conversation that he's given an apology, right? I mean, in this apology that he's given, he keeps referring back to him. When you're in a really true remorseful stage, when you did the work, when you did the self-work, you understand it's not about you anymore. You can't take full responsibility explaining why you did it. As a real man, and this goes for, females too, but as a real man, when you know you wrong, your apology should not have nothing with you in it. It should be nothing but just praise, humble, apologetic. Nothing about what caused you to do something. That's for another time. That's when you're talking about it with your kids 15 years later and trying to create some context on why you did it. But when you're talking to the victim, right, it's not else to talk about but that person on you being apologetic. This video, I already know he did this on his own terms. He probably ignored what they told him, like, Diddy, now's not the time. Let the press cool off. Let the public chill out. And let's give a heartfelt full statement versus this random apology that I believe is too, and the reason why I'm saying is way past the timestamp of when we needed it, is because he was defending himself, saying everything you're hearing and seeing is a lie. He called Cassie a lie. He said it was a money grab. I mean, we can go down the whole list. So I really think it's important that we understand that timing is everything, right? Time is everything. And this is for us to self-reflect on things that things we may done, right? Things we're still dealing with, right? I definitely hope he gets the help he gets, right? Or he's seeking, right? Nobody's perfect. This is not about saying who's more right and who's wrong. We just calling it what we calling it. Right now is you got caught in the act. The only reason you apologizing is because you was caught on video. That's what makes it worse for the public. What makes it worse is that you are apologizing right after the video come out. Like, bro, and now y'all can kind of see what I'm saying. If you're really getting work done, if you're really getting the help needed, your apology would have came out way before anything was to come out. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I know for a fact that he's just saying this because he was caught. It's kind of like getting your hand caught in a cookie jar. You get what I'm saying? Let's run this back one more time. I'm kind of over the whole, there's nothing really to talk about when it comes down to Diddy. We know what he did. We know what type of things he's into. You get what I'm saying? It's wild. It's really wild.
But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted.
You did not take full responsibility. Like, I hate when people say I take full responsibility after they caught red-handed. Right? Full responsibility. He had plenty. Remember, this was back in 2016. 2016 when this came out. Right? So we talking 8 years ago. 8 years ago. 8 years ago when this assault happened, and we're not even counting the assaults after that. You know what I'm saying? The assaults after that he probably has done or committed, right? Again, what we don't know, we can't really speak on. But at the same time, the only reason this is being talked about is because he got caught. So when we're talking about being apologetic, when we're talking about saying I take full responsibility, yo, bro, you 8 years late. You 8 years late. Like, come on, y'all. This is wild. This is wild right here. And
new surveillance footage obtained exclusively by CNN appears to corroborate some of the allegations of abuse against music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. The video, captured on multiple cameras, shows Combs assaulting his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hallway at a Los Angeles hotel in March 2016. A lawsuit filed by Ventura in November last year and settled the next day referenced actions that seem to match those seen in this video. The
dude is kicking her like she's a rag doll, dragging her like she is not human. You get what I'm saying? This is 8 years ago. So when you say you take full responsibility and you're seeking help, bro, you 8 years late. And we're not even talking about the stuff you was doing that wasn't caught on camera, because I'm pretty sure the feds got that too. And apparently the feds got this video from raiding his house. And then you got your idiotic son on a rap diss towards 50 Cent last week talking about they didn't get the house across the street we own. So who knows what videos and archives that you got, right? I find it very, very unfortunate on what happened to Cassie. Again, this is not about a mockery or making any mockery of it, but we need to really understand these idols and moguls that everybody seems to be praising all the time. I mean, if you look in the comments, it's always somebody giving somebody praise and you're the best this. And I'm like, I get it. These are celebrities, but these are humans. These are people with faults as they own, right? Faults of they having their own faults that they are still dealing with and their own demons, right? Things like that. There was a video that was circulating with Diddy, and let me see if I can find it for y'all, of him taking everybody's phone when they go on a yacht, and it just kind of depicts the type of person he is when it comes down to, privacy and why he wants privacy. Like, check this out. So in the video, you can kind of see him walking around with a bag.
Everybody's home now?
There you go. This literally just came out a few days ago.
What boy is that?
That bag in his right hand is collecting everybody's phone.
Merry Christmas.
Then he's gonna come up to the car right here. Everybody.
Need your phones and need your phone. Thank you.
So what was crazy in this video that everybody's
Quincy,
talking,
I know you have two phones, Quincy. Oh, there you go. That's what I love. Yeah. Just Glow. So proud of you, Just Glow. Look at that.
All right. So my take on that is, number one, of course, we all know celebrities like privacy, right? I saw that his daughters was going on that yacht, so that was kind of all right. what needs to be in that much privacy, right? On a yacht with your family, right? But my point is, it kind of, again, creates the narrative and the picture of the type of person that we're dealing with here, right? This person has a history of trying to do things in secrecy, right? But also boasting about the things he's done, right? And that lawsuit, there was things in the lawsuit of him, talking about his shootings, talking about how he's the most powerful man in the world, right? Everything is about self, right? And this is how you can see a type of behavior that everyone knows the buzzword for that he has, because everything is about him. Everything is about him. Even in his apology that he put out is also about him. And that's always going to be a great indication, a good indication to understand when somebody's not really being remorseful, because true remorse, true therapy allows you to take accountability and responsibility fully, granted. But when you do that, whatever comes out your mouth is for others. It's not to revert back to you. That's what a grown-up is supposed to do. An adult, right? An adult that has done the work. Like I said, I've been through therapy. I understand what it takes to be remorseful, right? Especially if the other person did you wrong, right? And you did something, probably 10 times, it doesn't matter. When you are apologetic, it's not even nothing to talk about when it comes down to why you did it. The why doesn't really matter. The point is that you did it. So when you are being remorseful, that should be the only type of words and things that should be coming out your mouth. So his team did a very terrible job. And I wouldn't even say his team. I'll say him. Like, he did a terrible job with this apology. I do not like it. I'm not cool with it. I think it was very insensitive on how he did it and what he said. I believe Cassie is probably, who knows what she's going through. Like, does she want this? Like, he didn't even mention her name. And again, it might be some things in the lawsuit or something where he can't. But if this is an apology to her that everybody's putting out, he didn't even say her name. He's not even saying what I did for her in an apology besides writing her a check. You get what I'm saying? So, oh, man.
I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. Got to go into therapy. I'm going to rehab. Had to ask God.
I promise you, his therapy sessions was probably the hardest therapy sessions that doctor or the therapist can ever be having. Because think about trying to tell Diddy about himself and stuff he needs to do, and he just has to be right. He is not trying to hear nothing. You get what I'm saying? But at least if he is, I'm glad he's getting therapy. You know what I'm saying? This is not about, beating a man down when he's down, but it's about also standing up for women that went through and are still going through because of men like him. And just 4 days ago, he just was putting on social media how time would tell truth, all this stuff. Now, couldn't the time will tell truth about him? Right? That's another narrative we can go with. It can be maybe he just needs everything to come out because he doesn't have the balls to come out and do it. Right? So that could be another angle. But what I will say is we don't know at the end of the day. We're all speculating. We're all potting. We're all talking about it. But we don't really know where he's at mentally or what he's going through. We don't know what Cassie is going through emotionally, mentally, right? But we do know what we saw. And when you're in celebrity, like when you're in that fame light, that celebrity light, you have to understand this is what comes with it. We can give you all the praise. We can give you all the highlights, the awards. We can give you all the money, right? But you better be damn sure prepared and ready when your negative and bad side is put to public, because the amount of time people invested in you, the amount of time people clap for you, right? We all wanted to see a black man win. We all wanted to see a black man from where he's from, right? New York, Mount Vernon, Harlem, wherever he grew up. We wanted him to win. We supported Revolt TV. We supported the artists. Artists took L supporting him. Everybody backed this man. And that's why I don't think people really realize people don't really realize the amount of love that people showed him to get to where he's at. And unfortunately, it was abused. It got to his head. This is why you can't give certain niggas money. You can't. They do stupid stuff. This is stupid. Everything he did was stupid. And what was it all for? Right? We got a few classics out of Biggie, some of his artists, cool. But is it really worth it if you know at the end that your demise is coming because you can't handle being powerful? You can't handle the money. You can't handle whatever drugs you taking. Is it really worth it for it to end like this? Not in a million years. I would not. I don't care if somebody said I'll cut you a check for $1 billion, but I'm gonna let you know in about 15 years you're going out to be called an abuser, trafficking charges, like it's gonna be the worst, but you get to enjoy 15 years. And that's what we talking about when people say they sell their souls to the devil, right? You know, I'm not big on the conspiracies, but I know what I know. People will give up any type of grounding or spirituality within themselves and to their God because they understand if they live a certain lifestyle, what it will gain them. That's what selling your soul is about. And they understand what comes with that lifestyle. It's not like these people are oblivious. They understand what comes with that lifestyle. So it's one thing to not know, but when you do know and you still do the transaction, that's selling your soul. Everybody keeps thinking they up in the sky with a ghost and here, yo, you take check or credit, Venmo? I bet. You want my soul today or tomorrow? I could bring it, I could deliver. It don't work like that. It's about what you know and what you still continue to do because of what comes with it. Yo, so I appreciate everybody pulling up. Make sure you like and subscribe. The channel is booming. I appreciate y'all. Get my views up. You know what I mean? Hopefully I can bring some integrity. I could bring some real boss talk to this world called YouTube and all the other outlets that I'm on. I appreciate my supporters. I appreciate y'all subscribing. Drop some comments. Give me your thoughts on today's take. And again, live life and take action. That's what JefeTalk is about. Taking action, being a boss of your mindset so you can have everything that you desire. I am out.